this is how we're gonna do this one. Connie sent me 2 watches, one Zelos Skyraider and one Mido Commander. He wanted me to compare these 2 watches since they're quite similarly priced and pick which one I would choose. And I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do it in a special way. I'm gonna do it in 2 separate videos. So this intro is for both videos, and I'm gonna concentrate on one of the watches in this video, and then in the other video you're gonna see the same intro, and I'm gonna concentrate on the other watch, and in the end on both videos I'm gonna choose a winner, and that's the exact same winner you're gonna see in both videos. And that's it. Today I'm wearing the Tudor Black Bay GMT, as you can see. So anyway, let's get down to business. Okay, and in this video we're gonna focus on the Zelos Skyraider. So let's just take the Mido out of the equation and put it away and concentrate on this beautiful, beautiful watch. I'm not gonna show you the complete unboxing. I did that already. You can see the video. Just click the link in one of these corners. Zelos box as usual, Zelos pouch as usual. This is something special. I actually showed you this one in the unboxing as well. It's a Zelos travel pouch, and I really have to buy myself one of these. It's sturdy, it's small. You can just fit it in your travel bag or in your wife's bag or wherever you want to. It's so small you might lose it, but I really have to buy me one of these. I'm really enjoying this little travel pouch. But let's take out the star of the day, and here it is, the Zelos Skyraider TI Carbon. And as you can see, it has a special dial. That's actually a forged carbon dial. I actually thought when I first saw the watch that maybe it was some kind of a stone, some kind of schiffer, or you know, there are stones that actually look like this, but it's actually carbon, and it has that really special effect. It almost, in some lights, maybe you'd think that the sapphire glass is dirty, but it's not that at all. It's just the forged carbon. It has that look, as you can see, and I really think that each of these watches have a different look because of the carbon. It's a really nice dial. It's clean. You have the Zelos branding up there at the 12 o'clock. You have a separate dial there at the 6 for the seconds running, and you have applied hours, and yeah, really legible minute hand and hour hand. It's a clean dial, and yet it gives you it's something that catches your eye. And we have this pilot watch look with the big pronounced crown, which is actually stamped right there. It's a nice look from the front, but it actually is really nicer from the back. So let's take a look at the back, and I'm gonna tell you what we have beating inside of this baby. As we open it up, no, actually we're gonna do it like this. The bracelet, this is actually a titanium bracelet. It's with that screwed links. We have a clasp here at the back with push pins, Zelos branding. It's all brushed. I actually don't know if I've ever seen a polished titanium bracelet. Actually, that might not exist and might not be possible to do. Please leave me a comment and tell me if you know otherwise. Zelos branding here. One thing I have to say about the Zelos logo on the clasp here is that it's really, really sharp. If you just drag your finger on it, you can feel it pulling on your skin, and you can actually do some manicure here for your fingers. It's really sharp, but thank God it's on this side and it's not on the inside, because you're not gonna notice it. Let's open it up. And here we have the star of the show, Inside this Zelos Skyraider, we have an ETA 6498-1 Elaborate hand-wound movement. 44 hours of power reserve, 18,800 beats per hour, 17 joules, no hacking. It's a beautiful movement to behold, and actually I'm going to talk about this movement more in the positives and the negatives of this watch, but there you have it. As you can see, and as you can see when we wind it, you can see the wheels are working there, doing their job, and it winds up. And as you can see, it's hand wound, so it doesn't have a rotor, which I'm going to talk about in the positives and negatives a little later, so we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We have some quick release for the bracelet, easy to swap. You can easily just push those in and put this on a rubber bracelet or a leather bracelet or whatever you want. So some of more of the specifics. We have a diameter of 42 millimeters. We have a thickness of 10.5 millimeters. We have a lug width of 22 millimeters. We have a lug to lug of 48.5 millimeters. Sapphire glass on the front and on the back. And the water resistance is actually 50 meters on this one. It's not a diving watch, it's a pilot's watch per se, and we don't have a screw down crown, and we have a open case back, so I guess that's why they could only give it a 50 meters water resistance for this watch. The loom on this baby is actually really great. It's a C3X1 loom and BGW9, as you can see on the video here. It looks really nice, legible, bright, lasts a long time. Zelos are actually top of the class when it comes to loom. I even think they beat out Seiko in some occasions. They've really, it's just the attention to detail, and it doesn't miss. They haven't missed anything, and it's bright. You can see it from far away, legible. It's because of that clean dial. There's no problem reading the time in pitch black darkness, and yeah, you have to give it to Zelos for the loom. They really knocked it out of the park on this one, as usual, as per usual. So one of the things I really have to talk about here is the bracelet. I really don't like titanium bracelets. I really don't like titanium watches, and I've said that in a couple of videos. But this bracelet, it's something special. It looks really cool. It looks great. It has this special, I don't even know what word to use to describe the look of this watch, but it looks aggressive. It looks industrial. It looks really badass. Badass is the word. You might have a problem with how it integrates with the case here. It's, as you can see, it's not. Let me just zoom in a little there. They could have maybe done something that would flatten this piece here from the lug with the bracelet, but that's just nitpicking, because I guess it's just personal preference and personal taste. I think it looks cool. It looks special. As you can see, even if you have a lug to lug of 48.5, it actually protrudes a little bit more, so I would actually say maybe 50 millimeters lug to lug, the actual lug to lug size on this one. But it looks rugged, tough, aggressive, and the most important thing for me, it does not feel like a titanium watch, and that might be because of the clasp. The clasp is actually stainless steel, and the stainless steel combined with the titanium gives it a sort of a counterweight, so it doesn't feel as light and flimsy as other titanium watches that I've tried out. It actually feels like a stainless steel watch. I'm sure it would weigh even more on a stainless steel bracelet, but this is a great bracelet, and combined with the stainless steel clasp gives you a feeling that it actually isn't. And I'm not saying titanium watches are cheap, because they're not. I actually had a Breitling Aerospace. It was titanium as well. It wasn't a cheap watch, but it feels cheap. It's something about the titanium, the lightweight feel of titanium. It makes it feel cheap, but this one doesn't do that. And one more thing with the clasp, it actually has the holy grail for me on clasps. It has a quick release, so you can give yourself, I guess this is more than 5 millimeters. If you're swelling up, it's a warm day, you just pull it out, or it's a cold day and you just pull it in. This is really great. I really wish all watches would have this. I really wish my Rolex GMT Master 2 had this, because they have it on the Submariner. I wish my Tudor had it, but they don't. And the Zelos Skyraider has it, and it's brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. One more thing we have to say is the price. It's priced at $1,199. It comes in a bunch of different variations. We have a teal one, we have a skeletonized one, we have a white one. It comes in a bunch of different variations, and it differs in price from $100 up to $100 down. But this one is $1,199, and it's all sold out. So let's go through some positives about this watch. It's not my own watch, but I still have an opinion of it by wearing it some and having it some. And I have to say this right from the start. I wanted to buy this watch from Connie. He sent it to me on loan, and I actually asked him if he wanted to sell it, because it's a really cool watch. It's a really cool looking watch. It has its own look. It's not too much, but it still gives a statement, if you understand what I'm trying to get at here. It's minimalized in the dial, but it's something special in the same time, with that forged carbon dial, with that separate dial for the seconds there. It really has a nice look to it. And the case back, oh my god, the case back, it's a beautiful movement. It's a fantastically good looking movement. And actually the movement on the back and the look on the front is actually both a positive and a negative thing, because the watch looks good from the front. There's no doubt. I'm liking this look, but it looks better from the back. Every time I put this watch on, I just want to take it off and look at the back. And that's a positive thing, that the back looks great. It's really a positive thing. But it's also a negative thing when the back looks better than the front. If I was to choose one configuration of this watch, if I was to buy this watch, I would actually buy the fully skeletonized version, because I would like to look at that movement all day long. I want to look at the movement more than I want to look at the dial in the front. Take that as you will. It's both a positive and a negative. There's nothing wrong with the front, but the back just looks better. And we have to talk about the limited edition aspect of the watch. I usually don't fall for the limited edition gimmick. I've had a couple of limited edition watches, and I've realized that it's just a gimmick. I mean, Oris, every watch they release is limited to 3,000 pieces. Omega has a bunch of limited edition watches. They're really every release is limited edition. Not really, but you might say so. And Seiko, they do a limited edition runs all the time. But this is truly a limited edition watch. I actually had a hard time finding on the website how limited it is, but I think we have some clues here. As you can see on the movement right there, it says 1 of 300. And actually I think that this watch, the Skyraider 2, was made in 300 pieces. But those 300 pieces were spread out in the different configurations, because on the back here it also says, let me just find it. Yep, there it is. On the case itself, Let me just zoom in, see if you can see it there. On the case itself, there we have number 26 out of 50. So I actually think that the Skyraider 2 was made in 300 pieces, but the Skyraider 2 TI Carbon was only made in 50 pieces. Maybe the teal one was also made in 50 pieces. Maybe the skeletonized version was made in 100 pieces or 50 pieces as well. But this watch in this configuration with the forged carbon dial is made in 50 pieces. That means when you own this watch, you're one of 50 persons in the world that has a watch like this. And that's truly a limited edition. That's something that actually would make me consider buying a watch more than a watch that's not limited. I usually don't fall for the gimmick, but when it's this limited, 50, and even if they make a Skyraider 3, it's not gonna look like this, because that's not the way Zelos operate. They when they release a new model, they actually change stuff. They don't just re-release the same thing. This will always be a watch that's only made in 50 pieces in this configuration, and that's cool. I think that's something. And another positive aspect, as I said before, is the bracelet. I've talked about enough about it, but it's really great, and I'm shocked that it's titanium. So, on the negative side, I have already talked about this. The case back looks better than the front. Take it as you will. You might say it's a positive because it's a great looking case back. I would rather have it than not have it, and I agree. I'd rather have it than not have it, but I would actually love the skeletonized version. And one other negative aspect, I don't have really enough experience with this, and as I said, this is not my watch, so I haven't had the opportunity to try it out as much as I would like to. But it's a hand-wound movement. It has no hacking. So for you guys who are measuring seconds, it's not for you, because you just can't make it to stop. It just doesn't hack. And I think that maybe on a hand-wound watch, since it doesn't have a rotor, it means you have to wind it up to get it to work. And when you're wearing it, it's not going to continue winding itself. You just have to remind yourself to wind it up once and again, and to keep it running. I actually think that I would forget that a bunch of times, but maybe I'd get used to it if it was my watch, if I was to wear it every day. But because I'm a watch collector, I don't wear one watch every day, all day. I would actually forget that, I think, and I would have, for me, a hand-wound watch on my wrist, I think, would stop occasionally, and I had to remind myself to wind it up. So take it as you will. It's a cool thing because the 6498 inside here is essentially a pocket watch movement that has been adopted into a wristwatch, and that's a really cool thing, but it might be a negative for some. I actually got a comment on my on another video that one guy asked me if I couldn't just put the watches on my right hand as well, because he found the tattoos a little too distracting and taking away from the watch. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. You see, I actually listen to you guys. This is the watch on my right hand. No tattoos, just pale Swedish hairy skin with the watch. The watch is in focus, nothing distracting away from the watch, nothing taking away that focus from the watch. And this is what it might look like on your wrist if you don't have any tattoos, and if you're as hairy as I am. As you can see, we have a dense... I'm actually not that hairy. I actually have friends that are way hairier. Actually, my aunt's husband, he's actually, I call him the werewolf. He's hairy. He's really hairy. He's like more of an animal than a man. But anyway, that's enough with the hair. There you have the watch without any tattoos taking away from it. It is beautiful. So there you go. There you go. Now back to the tattoos. But that's actually all I have to say about this Zelos Skyraider TI Carbon. It's a great watch, and I would actually love to own this watch. But let's go back and make a choice between this one and the Mido Commander. I'll be right back. Okay, so Connie wanted me to make a choice between the Mido Commander and the Zelos Skyraider TI Carbon. Similarly priced watches. This one is $1,200 US. It's sold out. This one is $1,100 US. The choice is easy for me because I'm that type of guy. I'm not the dress watch type of guy. So by default, the Mido here has a hard time winning this battle for me, because by default I prefer the type of watch that the Zelos is. I appreciate the look of the Mido. I think it does a great thing with the gradient dial. I haven't experienced that before and I love it. But for me, the Skyraider wins. The look of it, the look of the movement on the back, the pilot watch look with the bracelet that looks rugged and tooly, with the open case back that's lovely, with the clasp, with the quick adjustment option there, sapphire glass on the front and the back, limited edition to 50 pieces. This is a winner. For me, this is a winner, and the reason that I wanted to buy it from Connie straight away. A beautiful, beautiful watch, and I'm gonna look out when they release the Skyraider 3, because I guess they will release it, because this one sold out really quickly, as always with Zelos watches. And I'm gonna hope to grab me one of those. Nothing wrong with the Mido Commander, and if you were the type of guy that likes to wear dress watches, you might choose this one, because this is a perfectly fine watch. Feels great on the hand, even though it doesn't feel great for me because it feels too light and too delicate. But for some, if you're that type of guy, you might choose the Mido Commander. I'd actually consider choosing the Mido Commander just because of the name. I really think Commander is a good name for a watch. But guys, what do you think? Which one of these would you choose? Are you the tooly guy, or are you the more elegant, classy guy? Or maybe you're both. Maybe you would like to have both in the collection, because you want to have that dress option, because you actually dress up once in a while, which I actually don't. I'm more of a hang loose type of guy, you know. I'm wearing jeans at home. I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, a t-shirt and a hoodie. That's just me. But what do you think? Which one of these guys would you choose, and why? Please let me know in the comments below. And actually, that has been all for this video, or for these two videos actually. I'm gonna ask you to, if you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. That actually helps me out a lot, because I like to see the channel grow. But if you didn't like it, it's as important to give me a thumbs down and write me a comment on what you didn't like, and I promise you that I'm gonna try to do better the next time. One more thank you to Connie Fredriksson for sending me these two great watches. I hope he likes the video. I hope you like the videos, Connie. And that's all for me, folks. I hope you enjoyed yourself, because I certainly did with these two great watches. And I hope you enjoy the weather outside. If you have a nice weather where you're from, or if it's not, just get a cup of coffee and enjoy life, because it's actually worth enjoying. Anyway, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.